Not every LEGO creation is destined to sell, but imagine choosing the perfect models that people can't wait to buy. In this video, I'll reveal the 3 key criteria to identify the most profitable MOCs from your collection. You'll learn how to evaluate commercial potential, filter by size and complexity, and save yourself hours of effort while maximizing your sales. Let's unlock the secrets to picking the right LEGO designs to build and sell. Welcome to the last lesson of the first day of BRICKSBIZ training. In this lesson, we're going to leave the technicalities aside for a moment to identify which ones from your LEGO creations are the most suitable for generating sales with. Before we start 3D modeling and creating building instructions for our LEGO MOCs, we want to identify which ones have the best potential. The creation of building instructions is also a very time-consuming activity, so it's a good idea to make your choice accordingly. We'll also look at this subject in this lesson. By the end of this lesson, you should have all the information you need to make your choice and to start tomorrow with the 3D modeling of the selected MOCs. Your aim at the end of this lesson is to identify at least one MOC and a maximum of 3 from your LEGO creations for which you will produce professional building instructions over the upcoming 2 weeks. In my opinion, there are 3 main criteria that will help you make your choice from among your own creations or those of other designers if you have decided to set up a partnership. And we'll come back to all the steps to take in this case later in the course. The first criteria. I'm doing just a quick break in the video to let you know that if you're enjoying this free training, you're going to absolutely love the full BRICKSBIZ training course. BRICKSBIZ full training course, this is more than 25 hours of online content, an exclusive membership to a private Discord community full of business experts, a lifetime access to monthly live sessions, and tons of templates, bonuses, marketing strategies, and automation scripts to turn your passion for LEGO bricks into a profitable business. It's completely risk-free to try. You have 14 days to explore the program, and if you're not satisfied, you'll get a 100% reimbursement. No questions asked, though I'm pretty sure you won't need it. So if you are looking for more information, just follow the link that appears underneath this video. I let you get back to the content of this free BRICKSBIZ training course video. First criterion, and by far the most important, is the MOC commercial potential. Our main objective is to sell the fruits of our labor, our building instructions. So we have to choose which of our creations are most likely to appeal to a maximum number of people, and therefore to sell. Please make sure you don't fall into the trap of the crush. I'm sorry to tell you, but your favorite creations don't really matter. What matters is what your audience will prefer. To identify your most popular creations, i.e. those with the best commercial potential, for example, you can compare the number of likes, comments, and views, and list the number of requests for your MOCs on your social media. You may be in for a surprise when you look at these indicators. If you don't yet have social networks to test the popularity of your creations, do a quick survey by posting a few photos of your creations on the forums of LEGO sites such as eurobricks.com or brickset.com. Ask for honest feedback from members of the community on these forums. I advise you to post several creations at the same time to gather information about the one that is attracting the most interest. If you plan to promote other designers' MOCs, with their agreement of course, keep a close eye on their statistics. Most of the time, they are public and visible directly on social networks. If you want to make life easier for yourself, tools such as PhantomBuster, Scrapfly, Dataminer, or Make.com will allow you to retrieve these statistics with a few tutorials, a little time, and sometimes a few euros. But we'll come back to this point later in the BRICKSBIZ training course. The second criterion to consider in your choice is the number of LEGO parts. It's quite easy to understand. The more parts your creation requires, the longer it will take you to produce the corresponding building instructions. If you're just starting out with Studio, my advice for now is not to choose LEGO creations with more than 100-200 parts. Otherwise, you risk not reaching your goal at the end of the next 2 weeks. If you have no choice, for instance, if you're only creating gigantic MOCs, you'll probably have to work twice as hard over the next few days to reach our first targets on time. Nothing impossible though. Don't select LEGO models that are too small either. Under 100 parts, for example, you won't be able to sell your model on building instructions marketplace like Rebrickable. The third and final criterion to consider in your choice is the complexity of building. You'll see that all LEGO MOCs can be modeled in 3D, even the most complex ones, and even those that use LEGO building techniques described as illegal, which means they don't follow the classic way of fitting bricks together. But the more sophisticated building techniques take longer to model, so you might want to avoid them if you're a beginner. I leave it to you to be the judge. When I think of sections that are more difficult to model in Studio, I think of models with lots of joints, models using pneumatic tubes or flexible parts, for instance, or models using springs and elastics, or even models with multiple complex angles. Everything is possible in Studio, and this training course will teach you how to model any MOC. But if you're a complete beginner, I'd advise you to avoid this option, unless of course your MOC has an enormous commercial potential. One of the parameters to consider is also the amount of time you will be able to allocate to creating building instructions, both during this training and afterwards, once you are flying on your own. Your choice of the LEGO MOCs for which you are going to produce your first instructions can indeed also be influenced by the time factor. So, here's a table summarizing the estimated time required for 3D modeling for LEGO models made up of 1,000 bricks. Depending on your level of expertise, beginner, intermediate, or advanced, and the complexity of the 3D model to be created, you will be able to estimate how much time you will need to create your 3D model. It may seem like a lot of time, and it certainly is, especially if you're a beginner, but you'll soon get the hang of it and love seeing your LEGO creation come to life in 3D behind the cursor of your mouse. Depending on whether you're 3D designing a model that has already been built, one that you don't want to dismantle, for instance, or whether you're working on the basis of photos or step-by-step videos, or whether you need to extrapolate certain parts of your MOC design, you'll spend more or less time modeling in Studio. You will find these different parameters in the table opposite, and these parameters will influence how quickly you can work. Let's take an example to illustrate how to read the contents of this table. Let's say you're a complete beginner, i.e., you're starting BRICKSBIZ training course from scratch, or with very little knowledge. You should look in the yellow column. Estimate the complexity of the MOC you want to model. Let's imagine it's not very complex, i.e., no ultra-complicated techniques used or different angles in every direction. In this case, you will look in the low complexity column. Finally, depending on your work base, you will choose the corresponding line. For example, if the MOC you want to model is sitting on your desk next to the computer you're modeling on, and you can see it from all angles, you'll look at the second line. In my example, it will take you around 6 hours to model this 1,000 parts MOC. But the MOC you choose will not necessarily have 1,000 parts, so you can calculate the time you need to allocate proportionally. Going back to my example, if your MOC only has 500 parts, it should only take you 3 hours to model it in 3D, even if you're a beginner. Now it's your turn to work before we close this first day of intensive training. Let's work together to identify between 1 and 3 of your creations to model. Make an exhaustive list of all your LEGO MOCs. Identify the MOCs with the best sales potential in a list using the criteria seen in this lesson. For example, those with the highest number of likes, comments, views, or requests if you have already published visuals of your MOCs on social networks. Rank and sort the first 10 MOCs on the list according to their number of parts and the complexity of their construction. If you have fewer than 10 creations, don't worry. Limit yourself to the ones you have. Create your own top 3, sorting what you consider the best creations from most prior to less prior. You'll be producing professional building instructions for these MOCs in the next few days. If you'd like some feedback or advice on your selection, share your list, your top 10 and your top 3 for example, with the BRICKSBIZ community by following the link just below this video. If you don't already have your own MOCs, you can practice on MOCs from creators and designers you like. However, if you do so, it's very, very important, in this case, to never, ever make your work public or for sale without the explicit agreement of the creator. This is really key. Please note that you can also practice recreating a 3D model for an existing LEGO commercial set. How to do this is explained later in the BRICKSBIZ training course. We're coming to the end of this first day of training, and I hope you're excited about the prospect of designing a 3D model for your LEGO creations, and about the fact that in less than 3 weeks' time, people other than you will be able to reproduce your creations thanks to the building instructions and LEGO brick kits that you'll be offering. Before going any further, I'll leave you to check that you've completed all the steps in this lesson. I'll see you soon in the next video. Ciao! This video was taken from the BRICKSBIZ training course. If you'd like to discover the full richness of this training course and learn how to create and develop a business around your Lego, you can follow the link that appears just below this video. You'll be able to join a community of experts and generate your first dollars in less than 4 weeks. As for me, I'll see you in a new free video on the BRICKSBIZ YouTube channel. You can watch the video by clicking on the link on the screen.